Well, greetings, ladies and gentlemen. And I played my favorite sounder. Of course, that goes back many years when I was working with the BBC as they were trying to teach and train me to be a BBC kind of person, not just an American broadcaster. And that was a very interesting experience. But that theme song, that sounder, they don't use it anymore, just like a lot of things that I like. They aren't used anymore, but I always liked it. And on a Sunday afternoon, particularly when I was living around the world, I used to tune into the BBC just to kind of get my bearings as to what was going on and perhaps some thoughts for the week. So I play it today on this Sunday afternoon, the 25th of June. And this is a significant day, at least for me, because I was not expecting to be alive today. I really wasn't. But I am, and I'm in relatively good health. And so I have much to be thankful for and grateful for. And I want to talk a little bit about that, and that might be helpful to you. And then we have decided that we like the world word, the word world class. You've probably heard that, kind of a description of perhaps people and what they do and what they achieve. And it has a little bit of a ring to it, a boastfulness. But I've decided that there's much more to it than that, and I want to go for it. So today we're going to be talking about I'm lucky to be here. And then since I have a few more years left, perhaps, I'm going to try and be world class in some areas and some arenas that are important to me, and maybe they'll be helpful to you. I'm Stan Houston. The program is Interesting Ideas for a Sunday evening, our Sunday night meeting, and it begins right now. Well, yes, that is actually true. First of all, if you look at my family history, we have not been a history of men, and mostly men and perhaps women who've lived a good long life. That's not been the case. And so, of course, we all look at our family history. And I reached a significant birthday a few years ago, and I looked back and said, oh, you know what? If I make it 2, that gives me some time to get some things done that I want to get done, and so that would be great. And so I said that's my goal to seek if I can make it that far. But that's pushing it a little bit. I'll be lucky to do that. And that was what went through my head. And as I said, I wasn't expecting to be here. I was expecting that my work would be done, and perhaps I would be done for before this time. And I, like many of you, I have family and friends who've passed on at an earlier age, and even some friends who are struggling with the fact that they are in the grip of certain situations and conditions that may shorten their life more than they want it to be. I'm also reminded of a promised line that I didn't invent. In fact, it came from George Will, who he's still around, is a political pundit, a great baseball fan, and a writer, commentator for many years. And when he turned 70, he said, if the good Lord gives us 70, that's 70. He said, after 70, I'm now playing on the house. And of course, a number of you know what that means. That means that from this time on, it's free money. You've gotten more than you expected. You are more than above average. And be grateful that you have been so graced that you can now play on the house. Well, I've been playing on the house for a few years now, and I'm grateful for that. So thinking about that certainly gave me a sense of gratitude. But then I said, okay, I've been thinking about a lot of things, but in particular, now I am truly in my encore years, and so I've achieved many things, failed at many things, maybe more failures than successes, and that'll be a conversation for later this week. But okay, now what? Now what? What are some of the changes you want to make during this summer of new intentions? Summer of new intentions. Think about that. When the summer is over, you have some new intentions that you're going to follow through on. And we are in challenging times. Obviously, the situation, oh my goodness. What's up with that Russian situation? Who knows what that's going to mean? Obviously, as someone said, the Russian state is in a mess. And unfortunately, the people who run that state have too many, way too many nuclear weapons. And is that going to lead to something? And with the Ukraine situation, could it be that we truly, as one man said in a comment, he said, hey, we live in very dangerous times. Let's not forget that. We live in dangerous times. We need to pray because we live in dangerous times. Then, of course, here's what I also discovered. In effect, I talked last week about artificial intelligence, and that great subject is, will artificial intelligence replace you, or will it make you irreplaceable? And that's an ongoing conversation. And I found two or three people, one's about my age and has a lot of wisdom, who understands this, who's kind of in our, what we call AI posse. That means there's two or three or four of us who are trying to figure out how AI really could work and how we could be the team that could help businesses and individuals deal with this coming deal. And we're working on that, and we are putting together some programs and perhaps some coaching experiences on how to make it and to survive it, maybe even to achieve and excel, maybe even how to be world class in an AI world. What it became obvious to me is that there was a lot of discussion about whether we should call a halt to this, slow it down. And as the commentator went on to say is, that might be a wise decision. But let me tell you, the Chinese are not going to do that. And there's a number of other people who are not going to do that. They're going to go full blast on it. It may be not careful, it may be careless, but that's what they're going to do because they believe it'll give them an advantage. And that means that the next leadership, particularly in this country, is going to have to be a person, God bless them, that can actually help us learn how to deal with that situation and to deal with China. And so that is going to be one of the questions we should ask about our leadership. Would this person be someone who has both the, you might say, the class, and I mean that not necessarily that they're classy, but in terms of their excellence, in terms of their abilities, in terms of their toughness, they're in a heavyweight class, and they could be one who could help keep the world a little bit safer in the dealing with the world of the Chinese, who are on a world tear in terms of gaining world-class influence. That's what they want to be. So those were the things that came to my mind. And so I share them with you as you move on and move ahead into your week and maybe into the grace and the graciousness that is yours, because you have the ability and the opportunity to still make a contribution and make a difference in the world. You can still make significant contributions in some way. As I say, what are your stories? What are your songs? And what is the significance you want to share. Songs and stories and searches for significance. God-graced significance. We'll be right back as I talk about being world class. I'm Stan Houston. These are interesting ideas. We appreciate you. We appreciate you a lot. A number of years ago, when I was doing missionary work, there was a guy who came across with a title that was a little bit off-putting, and he later on explained it. But again, some people just, a lot of people just can't change thinkings. And the name of the book, and his name was Paul. I'll just say Paul. Wrote the book and said, "How to Be a World-Class Christian." And people say, "Well, you think you're better than everybody else." Well, the book title was good in the sense that it caught my attention, and eventually I found him to be a very helpful mentor. About my age at that time, a little bit older. I've lost track of him, but a smart man that came into my life. How to Be a World-Class Christian. But I always had a little bit of a difficulty with that term. Later on, I decided that, if it's thought correctly, it's good. It's good. And so some of the things that we're doing now, like, for instance, you may have heard, for those in the business, as I oftentimes am, in sharing the good news of Jesus, of the gospel, we now have a program called How to Be a World-Class Jesus Broadcaster. Yeah. For those of you who want to be, as I have been for many, many years, you want to be a business performance coach, a business and life performance coach, we know how to do that. And so the title of that program, and I'm seeking a posse for each of these projects, How to Be a World-Class Business Performance Coach. There we go. And there are others. How to be a world-class podcaster. Now, let me tell you what I think that means. When I say world-class, that is not a boastful description. It is meant to be an aspiration. It's not saying that we are, or that we have achieved, or that we ever will, but it's an aspiration. We want to be known for our excellence. People may not agree or want to be a fan of what we do, but in terms of our relationships with others, even with people who don't particularly agree with us, is we want to reflect excellence. We're good at what we do. We have a humble spirit about what we do. But we're good at what we do, and we're seeking to serve people well. We want to be one of the best. We have a world-class experience we're seeking to provide. Because world-class means that we have world concerns. Yeah, we're concerned about the state of the world. If you're world-class, you have world concerns. I'm very concerned about the fact that children still die of hunger. Think about this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Could it be that a child dies of malnutrition or hunger-related situations and diseases every 6 seconds? Could that be true? Some people think it is. We have concerns about that. We have a world concern about that. So we have not only, hopefully, excellence in who we are and what we do and how we do it, but we have world concerns. Our world is bigger, we don't have a small world. And our world isn't that big. And we have world concerns. And here's what we want to do. We want to do some world crossing. First of all, we want to cross some of the bridges that tend to keep people apart, but there are bridges that we can make. We want to cross some of the bridges to build better relationships and better understandings. We want to cross boundaries. A boundary is something that someone has set up that keeps people apart. Now, oftentimes that may be helpful and safe and useful in some ways, but we want to find ways to cross the boundaries that people have put in place. We want to cross the beliefs. We want to be very, very strong in our beliefs and our convictions. Really strong. We want to be world class in our convictions and beliefs, that we understand them, we act upon them, and if necessary, we can explain them and maybe even defend them. But we also want to be able to bump up, run into, work with, maybe even embrace people who have different beliefs. We want to cross over and be able to work with people in the very different beliefs. We want to cross culture. There we go. World class in crossing cultures. That it's not only beliefs, but it's a whole view of how the world works and how it scores things and how it achieves things and the pathologies that it has, as well as the possibilities that each culture has. So there we go, and I want to thank you for your time. Please reach out to me if I can be helpful to you. But there we go. What's your next project? If you've lived longer than you expected, or you know how graced you are to be here today, what is your next project? Do you have a posse that can help you? Do you have a coach, a promoter, a pusher, a guider who can help you? Do you have a coach? If you want to be world class, you need a world class coach. What are your world concerns? What kind of crossings do you want to make to actually qualify as world class? Well, there we are. I'm Stan Houston, a man who's had the opportunity to live longer than he should, and is grateful for that, but shares that with you, and I'd love to hear your response. So reach out to me at stanhouston@gmail.com, stanhouston@gmail.com. We come to you 2, 3, maybe 4 times a week, just under 20 minutes with some interesting ideas, and we hope that you will be a part of sharing with me and with the whole I Too Interesting Ideas posse that we're putting together as we move forward into these challenging times. All the best and blessings to you and your family. May your work prosper. May your work prosper. And may you find ways to acquire wisdom and then to share it with others. I think we can help you with that too. All the best and blessings. Till next time, bye for now.